outhousepatrol.com, in conjunction with the Heritage Center of Boulder, Montana, presents an aerial history tour of the Whitetail Road. Gold was discovered on Alder Creek in what was then Idaho Territory in May of 1863. This was the Great Virginia City Strike within what is now Madison County, Montana. You are viewing 1870s General Land Office surveys overlain on Google Earth. We are flying north along the Virginia City branch of the Overland Trail. This segment left the main trail near Snowline in Beaverhead County, passed near Virginia City, Sheridan, and Twin Bridges, continuing northward past Helena toward Fort Benton, the steamboat landing on the Missouri River. This tour will begin at Parson's Bridge, crossing of the Jefferson River, which is the boundary between Jefferson and Madison counties. In August of 1864, Neil Parson constructed a cable ferry about 10 miles southwest of present-day Whitehall. He built a bridge in the spring of 1865 to accommodate the heavy freight traffic headed toward the booming gold placers around Helena. According to original business license research at the Montana Historical Society by Outhouse Patrol, Neil Parson had a toll bridge, hotel, and saloon license in effect by 1867, the first year business licenses exist for Madison County. Crossing the Jefferson River, approaching Fish Creek, which had a post office by 1870, our research shows E. McSorley having a saloon and merchant's license by 1871. James Gans and L.S. Taylor also had saloons operating in the early 1870s. The old trail runs on the east side of Highway 55. Thousands of tons of freight, tens of thousands of miners, homesteaders, and freighters traveled the old trail from 1863 until the 1880s. Off to the right, Isaac Milner had a merchant's license for the store that was operating by early 1868 and was still licensed in 1869. Just ahead, where the road forks off to the right, the Boulder City and Crow Creek Road. This would have been the main freighter trail to the placer mines on the Boulder River until sometime after gold was discovered on Last Chance Gulch, July 14th, 1864. Road marked Corinne and Helena Road. The main trail will cross Big Pipestone Creek and head north on that part of the Overland Trail known locally as the Whitetail Road. Present-day Whitehall off to the right. and a random house in the middle of a field. At the first crossing of Whitetail Creek, on either side of the road stood the cabins of Henry Marsh and Charles Hadley. They were both bachelor ranchers, but jointly operated a dinner station at the crossing. This was in 1865, according to the Tuttle family history. Past Hadley and Marsh and off to the left, the site of Whitehall Station, built by Wells Fargo in the spring of 1867. This was a dinner station and overnight stop for the stages. It reportedly had sleeping accommodations for 30 to 40 passengers, and the contract for construction of the building called for suitable privy to be built in rear of the building with 3 deposits. Both the Hadley and Marsh site and the location of Whitehall Station are on the Salisbury Ranch. At Outhouse Patrol, we are historians, researchers, artifact hunters, and bottle collectors. We have been featured in Montana Magazine, the March-April 2011 issue, the Montana Standard, the Bozeman Daily Chronicle, the Boulder Monitor, and several other Montana publications. Just ahead, the site of Roots Milk Ranch, which appears to have been operating prior to December of 1863, according to a reference in the Montana Post. Henry Harrison Houghton had a license for a hotel and saloon at this site on or before early 1868. The first-year records are available. The site appears to have been on present-day Buckner Ranch. The Heritage Center is a non-profit organization preserving local and family history. It is located at 210 North Main in Boulder, Montana. The Heritage Center has its home in the Boulder Bank building, which was built in 1888 and was Boulder's first bank. The bank went broke in 1933 during the Great Depression. Just ahead, a site marked Blacks on the original land survey. Building is depicted as being close to the trail, and there is a corral shown along the creek, but no license records or census entries exist for Mr. Black. This is on present-day Bateman Ranch. Continuing north along the Whitetail Road, we will overfly the C.L. Dearborn place. He had a hotel operation here in 1871. Except for the single license entry and the name on the map, exactly nothing is known about this trailside business. Located on present-day Moss Ranch. outhousepatrol.com has done extensive business license research covering the years 1867 through 1879 at the Montana Historical Society in Helena. We have logged more than 4,500 names and locations of many early businesses in 5 different counties. More than 1,000 different saloon keepers' names have been entered, almost 1,000 merchants, hundreds of hotels, many peddlers and brewers, a peddler of pills on foot, and Hong Yu Ak, the Chinese hog peddler of Pioneer. Old Deer Lodge County alone has 1,950 different entries. Jefferson County nearly 1,000, Gallatin County surveyed through 1877, Madison through 1873, Lewis and Clark through 1873, with more than 1,000 entries. This 1871 original land survey shows a structure marked King's. J.R. King had a saloon license in effect in early 1868, and this site was apparently known as Mountain Station during the same year. It's on present-day Keogh Ranch. Outhouse Patrol is interested in contracting to search for and recover artifacts on old trailside properties, especially those from the 1860s and the 1870s. Another 3 miles past Keogh Ranch and we reach the site of Valley Station, as it was called on this 1871 land survey. But in 1867, Wells Fargo lists their next station north of Whitehall as being 15 miles away and known as Basin. 2 different names, but probably at the same site. Gilmer and Salisbury Stage Line bought the Wells Fargo route between Ogden, Utah and Helena in 1869, so it appears that the new owners changed the name from Basin to Valley Station. This site presently owned by Doug Salisbury. The old trail headed over the divide, crossed the Little Boulder River, and into Boulder River Valley. Mule trains and travelers on horseback would have certainly used this route to access the placers along the Boulder River by 1862. This route, however, would not have been accessible to freight wagons and stagecoaches in the early days. Freighter Alexander Topans completed this road over the Boulder Divide and down into the Boulder River Valley probably by the fall of 1864. That same year, he built the road over the Boulder Hill and into Helena to deliver his freight from Virginia City to Helena. Dropping down on the north side of the divide and off to the left and taking its name from the nearby river is Little Boulder Station. A.J. Oliver had stages running between Virginia City and Helena over this line in 1864. Ben Holliday's stages ran over this route, and according to their schedules, this was a stop on the Wells Fargo stage route in 1867. Gilmer and Salisbury bought out Wells Fargo in 1869. Green pin off to the left indicates the site of Little Boulder Station, which is located on present-day Gilmer Ranch. Extensive research of business license receipts at the Montana Historical Society in Helena covering 1867 until 1880 shows 2 hotels, 2 saloons, general store, restaurant, and a butcher operated here from 1868 until 1876. Hiram Cook operated a saloon, hotel, and general store there and was postmaster at Little Boulder until he built the Windsor Hotel at what is present-day Boulder. Off to the right, Boulder Hot Springs. James E. Riley filed a claim September 3rd, 1863 on the springs. The Boulder River Just ahead was a scene of early placer mining activity. Off to the right, the Mills homestead on Fadness property. The site of Old Boulder, which was located near the Green Pin, was platted in 1865 and is located on present-day Macaulay Ranch, locally known as the Phelan Place. Original research by Outhouse Patrol indicates 2 hotels, 2 saloons, and a stable operated here from 1868 until 1874. In the distance, located on Skytop Ranch, are the Sloan Place and 2 unidentified features. The Greswold's Corral was on or near the Reeder Ranch, and the Jones Place is on present-day Latin property. About a 16-minute tour of 41 miles along the Whitetail Road. Thanks for flying, outhousepatrol.com.